What a night that we get to have an Olympic gold medalist, silver medalist with us. And then we get to have another gentleman from our church, Tim Cruickshank, who is a retired Navy SEAL. And, when you talk about pressure, talk about pressure, Brian being an Olympic athlete with the weight of the world on his shoulders, that nothing less than a gold medal, nothing less than perfection is not enough. Well, then I want you to think about a Navy SEAL sent on an assignment when it's not just, will the country be happy with me or those other things, but somebody on this mission might not come back. And at any given moment, you're laying your life on the line for something that you believe in. And so today, it's a real privilege. I'm going to have you just give Tim a great Eastridge welcome. Would you do that tonight? Tim, come and share with us. Thank you for your service, and thanks for sharing with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We unfortunately live in a time of conflict. Struggles, family, kids, money. We're surrounded by stress, chaos, anxiety, and grief. Unfortunately, we live in a generation for some people of loneliness. And some of you see this where, we don't talk to our neighbors anymore and we're losing that sense of community, that sense of friendship. And Pastor Steve always says, and I believe this to be true, the greatest gift in life is to share what Jesus has done in your life with others. So I want to talk to you about perspective, faith, and kind of my journey, my walk with Jesus Christ. So I want to tell you a little story, if you'd let me, and give you a little analogy. So if we can put the first picture up on the screen here. This was me before my first mission. It was 1993. It was just after the first Gulf War. I was on the USS Eisenhower, which is an aircraft carrier out of Norfolk, Virginia. We were in the Persian Gulf, and we were supporting UN sanctions against Iraq, running oil. Snipers had been out all day doing recon, and our lieutenant came down and he said, got our first mission. This is my first deployment, my first mission. He said, get your gear on, and I'll meet you up on deck. Go ahead and put up the next picture, please. We loaded the helo after he gave us our brief, what we were going to do. Time was of the essence because we were going to hit some Iraqi ships that were moving kind of quick. We got on the helo, and we took off. The attitude on the helicopter was very lighthearted. Guys are joking around. We're all kind of having fun. And all of a sudden, our chief stood up. He said, 5 minutes. Lights went out inside. They turned on this little red light. Gives this kind of weird glow in there. And it's meant to save our night vision. It was night now. And we're moving fast, and it seemed kind of like a split second. And I had this out-of-body feeling, and you ever sitting in the movie and you're watching a movie and you're like, oh, that's really cool. And I go, oh my God, I'm not in a movie. I'm actually in this helo, and I'm a SEAL. I'm about ready to hit a target. Before I knew it, he said, 30 seconds, everybody up. That was fourth in the stack. Our helo is going fast, and the only thing I can describe it as is hitting your brakes when you're going 150 out on the freeway. Nose comes up. We're all just kind of holding on. He says, let's go get them, boys. Go, go, go. Hit the door. Down the rope we go. 3 guys in front of me, make it about mid-rope, and I hear shots fired below me. So here I am, in the middle of the Persian Gulf, the moving ship below me, a helicopter above me, I'm hanging on a rope, and shots are being fired. It's that same kind of chaos, that same kind of stress and anxiety that we have in our everyday life. Did I feel helpless? Vulnerable? No, not really. because I had trained for this. I was ready for this. The thing is we're all ready for this. We all have these experiences in our life to get us to this point. It's all the same stuff: money, health, marriage, kids. That's stress. But if you have a faith, something higher than yourself, and a trust in your team around you, that's what gets you through. So I want to frame this perspective. You put up the next picture. That was me right after that operation. I went through SEAL training, and they purposely make SEAL training extremely difficult, both mentally and physically. The reason why is SEALs lead in an environment where the slightest mistake can have a life-threatening consequence. And despite enormous stress and responsibility where the stakes couldn't be any higher on a geopolitical scale, we operate as efficiently formidable teams. This doesn't happen overnight. Let's show you a little video. If we can start the video. And I think
Instructor Pat Stone is probing each student's
this
commitment
puts it
to
into
both
perfect
Cruise leader and to
perspective. I
recover.
want you to watch the guy in the
only
front.
misery is to work
They're
together.
lifting a log called Old Misery, because misery loves company.
And shoulder position move.
This log weighs 400 pounds.
Nice. Oh, dropping the log. That's
And they get to work out with it.
that later.
The guy in the front has given everything he has. And let me put this into perspective.
Your shoulders. So now we will work on something
They've
else.
been up since 5 in the morning. They've PT'd for 2.5 hours. It's push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. Swam 4 miles in the pool, ran 2 miles back and forth to chow, and now they're under this log. Look at the look on this guy's face. Giving it everything he's got. He's spent.
And go back on your own small little log that weighs a hell of a lot
Instructor
less
Pat
than
Stone and I were instructors together. I'm not in this video, but I think he sets the stage perfectly for what we're trying to accomplish.
Whenever you're ready.
It's going to time them. It's all made up.
Time has started.
He tells them they miss it by 4 seconds. They probably made it, but he's testing them mentally. You got a guy in the back. He's an ensign. He just graduated from the Naval Academy. They threw a gold bar on his shoulder and told him to lead. Well, they're going to give him every opportunity to lead, as will they every guy in this boat crew. Combat is a fluid situation. Something happens to the officer, the others have to be able to take charge. The thing that I love about this video is that guy in the front, he's failing. But he was humble enough to realize it and go take his place in the middle.
3,
You'll see him do it.
4. If you had 4 more seconds in you right now, you'd be on your log. Okay, 45 seconds.
We've all been there. We've all been that guy
Who are you?
that has given everything.
Who are you?
But you've got to realize that you step back in because it's not about you.
You see that attitude? It just
It's
makes us-
about the team.
if you accept
It's
defeat
about the
again,
betterment of the team. It's about the safety of the team.
Let's do it, fellas. Let's do it. Standard arm. Get it up.
The ensign gets a chance to lead.
We'll start the time.
He's putting it into perspective for him.
Right hand shoulder position move.
These things are important.
Mr. Hawley, do you need to switch anybody around on this log?
Let's go back to
I'll get up front. You realize, Mr.
a buddy of mine. He had a funny statement. He says, with log PT, you reach a point of exhaustion where you can only express yourself through prayer or profanity, and sometimes both at the same time. It's a very painful evolution. I think we all have our own old misery. We've all found ourselves on that rope at one point in our life. How do we react? Do we just let go of the rope? Do we quit and just give up? What is your reaction to these stressful events? Is it to quit? Is it to get angry or frustrated? What we need to learn to do is have calm as our default. And the good thing about that is we all have control of our emotions, and we can reset our default to make it calm. The other thing is to realize that you can do much more than you think you can. God's not going to put more on your plate than you can handle. It may seem like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders, but you can do it. If you tell yourself you can, or you tell yourself you can't, you're right. It's all here. The body can do more than it thinks it can. It's all here in its heart. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Resiliency, perseverance, and grit. Jesus was the epitome of this, and he left behind a playbook called the Bible. He led by example, and he was my example of strength. And what drove me through these situations when I found myself mid-rope or under a log or any of the other evolutions that they put us through. Can you please put up the next picture? That picture was my platoon. We're on a ridgeline in Israel. Being in the SEAL teams, I'm very team-oriented. My team consisted of God, my family, and my platoon. The people changed, the names changed over the 25 years that I served, but it remained the same. When I retired from the Navy, my team changed. A couple weeks ago, after the service, I went up to Pastor Steve, and I just hugged him. He didn't know why I hugged him or how he had changed my life that day, but I hugged him. Pastor Steve is part of my new team. We need a team. And when we go back and we talk about this kind of idea of living in stress and anxiety and loneliness, God created us to be in relationships with people. We need people that we can count on. We need a team. We need camaraderie. And that's why what we've got going on here tonight is so important, because we as men need this. We need this team. We need this togetherness in this relationship. Eastridge, Pastor Steve, my family, this is my new team. Appreciate it.